Hi, everyone. It's Grant Abbott speaking. I'm here with Travis Whitmore. How are you, Travis, today?
Good, thanks, Grant.
Look, there's my video. Sorry about that. I'm looking up at this screen because it's a big one. Because with my eyes, I need to have a look at the big one. So we're going to be spending a lot of time on the screen, but just know that I'm not looking away from you. It's just I'm looking up there, and I need to put in some data, which is really important. And we've got Mr. Tony Anamourlis, who's also poked his head in there after taking his mother to an oncologist. So we've got the whole box and dice, although Tony, I might get you to mute yourself for a second so we don't get all that background noise of you down at the coffee shop. Although I don't know how he does that because he's in Melbourne. Anyway, this is, I thought I'd do this session for that. So what I'm going to do is we're sort of taking a little bit of a transformational shift in the way that we're dealing with our licensees and also our subscribers. And you guys are our core people. We obviously have a lot of PAYG people who love to have them, but importantly, from our perspective, we're there for you. We've set up, for example, Abbott Mourly is really a legal firm, not a traditional one that you've seen, but one that is there for accountants and planners, but really at the end of the day is for our licensees and also our subscribers. The difference between a licensee and a subscriber is nothing in terms of deliverables. Just a subscriber pays on a monthly basis, whereas licensees are on a 5-year license and they pay a cheaper fee, but they pay each year. So that guarantees them a set fee for 5 to 10 years, but cancel at any point in time. So you understand the difference. The important thing about that is we need to have some clear air over the next few years. Look, where we are now with COVID is only just the start of everything. We've only, we haven't even hit the economic or financial ruin yet, and that's going to have a devastating impact on society. And we'll see that. So it's been almost like a 6-month holiday, except for poor old Melburnians who've been sort of locked down in prison there for a while. So hat tip to you guys. And I don't think I'd do it. I would be out in the streets and, throwing things at that ridiculous Dan Andrew. It's bad enough up here with Palaszczuk. She's such an idiot. But anyway, at least we got a chance to vote her out in 2 months. Anyway, getting back to where we started is for the last, we really started building heavily light year docs in September 2018. And so it's really been going 2 years. We launched in May of 2019. So we haven't really been there that long. Over that time, I've done, Tony and I have probably done about 120 documents. There's a document there for everyone. We've got a few other ones coming on down the track. But what we're going to do is start focusing more on automations, integrations you would have seen with BGL. But now we want to do a bit of a switcheroo there, is that as subscribers or licensees, you get all the documents. They're all unlimited. Doesn't matter if we put up a new document, you're going to get a brand new document there. The main thing there from our perspective, Henry locked up for probably another month and a half, God, hopefully. Sorry about that, Henry. My hearts go out to you. So from that perspective, you obviously get customer support, and it's not like normal customer support. You can have a chat with Geraldine. You can have a chat with Travis. If you've got a legal issue, have a chat with Tony. You've got all our phone numbers. So we're there for you. And it doesn't matter. There's no problem that's too hard. Obviously, a technical or accessing documents or whatever, have a chat with Geraldine. But if it's a technical or a strategy issue, make sure you come to either Tony or myself, or if I'm really busy, Travis has got my diary so he can book in some time there for you. So we've got all that down pat. There's heaps of webinars, but what I want to do now, and I started to do this when I was at Now Infinity, but it dropped off because Amrita and Vitali, who are the major shareholders, sort of focus more on that corporate messenger, which I love, but it's not my style. I'm into strategy and building businesses. And I think it's important that we are all in this process now together, actually, which I find is very exciting, is that we're all building startup businesses within our own business. And what I mean by that is that traditionally, whether you're an accountant or financial planner, if you have a look at a financial planner, traditionally you might have set up an SMSF, you might have done this or that. but primarily it's always been about investments. Accounting, there's obviously tax advice that you give, etc., strategies, etc. But we've had a tendency now to essentially accounting and doing a lot of compliance. Thank you very much for that, Commissioner of Taxation. So what we've got now, though, is we can see, and for those who've been there with me for a while, and if you haven't, go and have a look at our weekly webinars. There's heaps there. Feel free that, look, if you're just getting into this, just put your hand up and say, look, Grant, I don't know where to start. Which of the videos we can do? I've given Travis the roadmap. In fact, the same roadmap that Travis is on at the moment, getting up to skill is also going to be there for you. So again, Travis at lightyeardocs.com.au. Importantly, from that perspective, is what we're seeking to do, and I'm going to show you a great little slide next. What we want to do is we want to start to build up the 3 core competencies. Succession planning. And succession planning is absolutely crucial to me. Now, I'm talking about business succession planning. There's a whole lot of other people around for that. What I'm doing is looking at succession as much the same. You've heard me say this before about the Windsor royal family. Knowing that when we have a look at our family structured wealth that you guys put in play really well, whether it's a family trust, whether it's an SMSF, or if you really want to take it to the next level up, the leading member SMSF and leading member family trust, which are primarily for bloodline only. Once we start to put all those structures in play, my idea is you put a moat around it, protect it from the scavengers, being the legal profession and also the regulators as well. Let's face it, we're in a bit of a hole here, and the first place that people are going to go for a hole is obviously your client's wealth. So what we're going to do is have a really good, strong succession plan. And it shouldn't just be for one generation, it should be multi-generational. Much the same as, can you imagine that if it's not like the Pope, when the Pope dies, they all get together, toss their little whatever they do, put a few puffs of smoke up a windmill, and next minute, this is the next Pope. That's democracy in action, although I don't believe the Catholic Church is democratic by any stretch of the imagination. But if you have a look at the royal family, there is succession built in. In fact, it's the first male heir of each generation is the one who's destined to be the king. It's the same thing, is there's really strong succession. So when we deal with our clients, we want to build that succession. The next level is clients have got what they've got, whether they've done successfully. And it doesn't matter whether they've just got a house or they've saved up, they've got their house, they've got their super, or they're in business. All of those things need to be protected. Again, you'll find that there's a whole range of either litigation, there's a whole range of people after that sort of money in one-way stretch of the imagination. And it may well be just simply on death that the family provisions claim. And I know Tony's done quite a bit of work on this recently, that, there's so many people can start to attack a client's estate in the event of death, and then it starts bang. As soon as that, in fact, I was going to say, as soon as someone's heartbeat passes away, in fact, quite often it happens well and truly before that time. So we've got succession, we've got asset protection, and then we've got estate planning. So this is a new game. It's not a new game for me. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, but the formulaic, the thematic that's coming through from my perspective is really, brand new, and that I've started to pull it together. And as I said before, leave it with me, but over the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to set up that Succession Asset Protection Estate Planning Advisors Association, so that it gives you that idea that there is a brand new area of advice that's coming into play. Because I can guarantee you, a lawyer who's really good at estate planning has no idea about succession or asset protection. And it may be exactly the opposite way. So that what we're doing is we're building up that advisory arm for ourselves. So it's a brand new world. And for me, it's an exciting new world. And you can't get a better time than where we are at the moment, because if we have a look at it, COVID has fundamentally changed our society. And really, our clients, and look, Henry, poor old Henry, is locked down for 6 weeks, and be buggered that. I don't think Andrews is going to last to Christmas. I mean, if you have a look at, I tell you, here's my first fortune telling. If you look at it, if Palaszczuk gets smashed at the election, don't expect Andrews to last a week beyond that. because the lockdown idea, you know, closing the borders sounds good, but Australia, there's so much of our business that relates to tourism, and particularly up here, you can't afford to let that go. As it is, there's irreparable damage being done. But the thing about COVID, it's now brought into sharp focus. You know, have I got an enduring power of attorney? Have I got a will? You know, have I got my asset protection? And what about I think we had a look at one yesterday. Tony was looking at one, a $12 million estate. And I think the will was done like 15 years ago. You need people, every one of us, including you guys, because you've got unlimited documents, you should have enduring powers of attorney, definitely advanced healthcare directives. If you put one of those innovation things down your throat, that can be an absolute disaster for you. You know, by the time that gets there, who knows what happens from that perspective. And as far as those bloody vaccines go, I don't know about that one, but I saw the AstraZeneca one, they stopped the trial because someone was having spinal issues. I'm certainly not going to sign up for a vaccine in any short form. I think most of us will sit and wait. But look, what we've got to do is we've got to be the point people there. Ordinarily, we've all fallen for that trap, is that we've taken a client in, and I've been the same thing, and then we refer them on to a lawyer who might charge anywhere between $10,000, $20,000 or $30,000. And you should see the fees that the lawyers charge when they want to be executors of the estate or administer the estate. And that's just not right. I mean, we're in there to make sure our clients get a fair deal, that there's a moat around their family wealth and it's there for multi-generations. That's what gets me juiced up. And there's some great fees in there. And importantly, with Lightyear Docs and also Abbott Mourly Lawyers, we've constructed a great system that really is there for you as the accountant, is there for you as the planner. It's not there for your end clients. Now, it'll deliver the great solution, and we're there, and I'll talk about where Abbott Mourly gets involved in the process, because it can either be light touch, medium touch, or heavy touch, and we'll cover exactly what we need to do. But at the end of the day, what we want to do is maximize this opportunity that we've got. And so you can see there on the right-hand side, the old Jeremy Courtois, Judge Courtois, who talks about, this is over in Western Australia, how lawyers are feasting on a Perth family estate. You know, $520,000 in legal fees for a $600,000 estate. It's absolutely crucial, and that was under a family provisions claim. We do not want that to happen to our client. So that's where, for example, the protector comes into play. So if I have a look at the next one, and I think this is an instructive one, and we go down and have a look. So this is a nice little table I did ages ago, but I really want to put your mind into it. I know Travis is worked for a lot of organisations and has got set up a lot of sales businesses, etc. But I just want to show you there. If we have a look at it for your clients, we've got a stock standard pricing mechanism from a retail level that you guys should be charging. If you don't know where it is, just look in our strategy center or contact Travis and we'll send it through. I'm building a little spreadsheet for you guys, because I know you're all accountants, you love spreadsheets. In fact, you're probably far better for you to build it for me. Last thing you want to do is see a lawyer build a spreadsheet. It's a pretty ugly scenario. But if we have a look at it, we had a new entrant who's just come on board, Matthew Burke, not the footballer, but Matthew Burke he's in Perth, isn't he, Travis, I think?
No, he's from Chinchilla.
Oh, from Chinchilla. Beautiful place out there. Lovely guy, young guy, and, they really want to move ahead forward. And I think it's a matter of all looking at this and starting to do a really basic business plan and thinking that the things that you can deliver to your clients. And I want you to put away, if you can note it, and I'll send this video. This video will come to you, the Savo, and I'll set you a date, because on the 14th of October, it was the 7th, but on the 14th of October, we've got a full half day. I'm going to take you through the moat. We're going to do case studies. So that'll be, once you do that, your life is going to be changed. I guarantee it. But what we want to do now is we want to sit down and say, okay, well, when we have a look at these sort of things, that if I'm doing a LYD will with a EPOA for my client, throw in an advanced healthcare directive as well. I've got South Australia up, but I'll be building the rest next Thursday. Our next Thursday session, I'll be taking you through all the other advanced healthcare directives across Australia. So if we look at it, typically $1,600 a couple for a LYD client will and EPOA, and look at the time spent on it and look at the amount of fees that will deliver per annum. So that's doing 2 per month. If you can get up to 6 per month or 10 per month, look at those per annum fees. And for most part in that, you know, Abbott Mourly's, as I said, we're there for accountants to support you, not to take a client. Can you believe that? A legal firm that is there to support accountants and planners, not to take away their clients. And the simple reason we do that is because we've got a very streamlined automated system. Now, if you can throw a protector on top of that, then obviously your numbers go up quite significantly. So again, it's a matter of seeing these clients, getting them into the zone, getting them there, and we're working on a few little, some great things there. But again, you can have a chat with Travis, who can give you some great ideas. We've got emails you can send out to clients, so on and so forth. It's a matter of getting, well, it's an advisory pipeline on that one. So that's essentially where we want to do, set in line a number of clients that we want to get per month. And then there's obviously going to be deliverables on that one. Have you got anything on to say on that one, Travis, in terms of goal setting around, you know, how many clients you should see, or setting a goal, and, you know, how that materializes for you?
It all come down to sort of personal preference, I suppose, and how many people they're speaking to on a daily, and how they can upsell their clients. Really, at the end of that, that's what we're trying to do. Is take a client that they've got already on their books and adding a new source of income revenue for the client, being the accountant planners that we're talking to.
And for a lot of them, I think it's really important, because a lot of the stuff you'll see, because we've automated, I'm going to show you like the super hack way. So look, let's go down and have a look. This is the 5-part estate planning roadmap for advisors that Tony has worked on, did this brilliant infographic. Are you there, Tony?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to give us a bit of a? Do you want to take us through the roadmap, and then I can wheel back and we'll go over it from my level?
Yeah, the estate planning roadmap for advisors is very easy to follow. If you follow this roadmap, basically, you'll be okay. But when we start off, basically, it's we follow it in steps. It's 5-step. It's a 5-step process. You start off with step 1, easy. Get the preparation of the data capture sheet. Fill it all out with the client. Basically, input all the data, and then once that's done, and if there's any other auxiliary documents that need to be attached, basically, then what happens is you input all that data in through the LY platform or through the will, and then the will gets the LY system essentially produces the will and the EPOA, etc., and any other documents as part of the estate.
So we'll just stop there, because let's just draw a line in the sand. So I'm going to come back to that data capture idea. But essentially, it is you as the accountant or the planner, or actually we should say, let's forget that, you're the SPEPA advisor. So the Succession Asset Protection Estate Planning Advisor, you put all the stuff in there. I'm going to show you, like Travis is going to be the worst bloody case ever from what I've seen. So if he's a nightmare, then, you know, everything else is going to be easy from here on down the track. So we generate the documents now. If it's just a basic mum and dad will, that you're only just going in, everything goes to mum, everything goes to dad. Remember, we still want succession. If mum's not alive, then you press the buttons and it all goes, you know, equally to the children. If that's the case, if there's no testamentary trust, if there's no child being left out, you know, if there's no one overseas, if they're still in the same marriage and they've been in there, you know, since the day dot, then you can do the EPOA and the will, and know that those underlying documents are being prepared on the Lightyear Doc system based on data capture, And then you can prepare that and send it off to the client. Now, what will happen though is step 3, which is important. If there's one of those cases that again, they've been married before anywhere, and look, it doesn't matter how long, there have been cases around Australia where spouses from 26 years ago have made an estate planning or family provisions claim against a client. So if you tick any of these boxes, or the client does, then you need to go into step 3, put your hand up and start asking for Abbott Mourly help. And that's important. So I'll let you go from there, Tony, on let's say they've gone down, they've said, oh, okay, we've got a Travis here. He's a nightmare. So what we're going to do is we need a little bit of help from Abbott Mourly, who are basically the lawyers there to support accountants and planners.
Yep. And just following on from step 3, basically, the documents all come back to me. And then I take a bit of a review on them, along with the data capture sheets that have been given to me. And then what we do after that is we set up the first Zoom with the advisor and the client, okay? So, and the purpose of that is to obtain, any instructions out of the client, quiz him a bit on the will, see if he wants to, make any further amendments to the documents, as it usually is in any case. And that'll run basically for around about 45, 60 minutes, depending on the scope of the will, basically, right? And then what happens after that is once the documents have been amended, then they come back to me. I review them again to make sure all the amendments are in place. And then we go for a final Zoom basically with the client. So there's 2 Zooms. So the final Zoom will be at step 5, where we finalise the documents, and then it's ready for signing and execution and or witnessing basically.
So then you do the Zoom for witnessing, then the documents come down to the vault for the Abbott Mourly vault.
Exactly. So once all that's done, then the documents come to me. I witness them on the day that the Zoom had taken place, when the client actually executed it in front of me in my presence. And then I make 2 certified copies of those documents, and I send back the original, or Abbott Mourly can store the originals here in any case, absolutely for at no cost, of course. And the certified copies, along with the originals, go back to the advisor for him to distribute, for him or she to distribute basically back to the client. And we obviously keep a copy, the advisor keeps a copy on file, and obviously the client keeps a copy for its file also. So everybody's got a copy basically of each other's mirror documents. So it's not that hard.
Yeah, so that's perfectly okay. So when we have a look at this, we've got the fees of $1,600 per couple. That's for a basic. If we're looking at a testamentary trust, it's at least $1,600 per person. So you should be charging LYD, client wills, and EPOA. For the basic one is $1,600 per couple. If you understand that one. And I'll show you the difference between the two. But once you get to one where you've got Abbott Mourly, then it's generally going to be you're going to be utilising testamentary trust, etc. So it'll actually be around about $1,600, sometimes even a bit more, up around about $2,000 per person, or around about $4,000 per couple, which is where Abbott Mourly get involved. Does everyone understand the difference? The basics are what we've got here. And then if you need the more advanced to get Tony and myself involved, then the costing on that is for one person, it's $495. And that would be the sign off for the client will and also the EPOA. When we get down the moat, you'll probably include the moat as well. The moat, you'll include the SMSF will as well. And for a couple, it's $845. So if you're charging $3,200, $845 for full legal sign-off. And importantly, and listen to this, once you engage Abbott Mourly, Tony has to do a file for it. but again, goes back to that process that we did before. And once you go past 3, now all that documentation that you have done here is now directly signed off, and they're Abbott Mourly documents, meaning it is now on our PI cover, which is really important. The base one, if you just go 1, 2 basic, then essentially it's your PI cover. But again, it's based on the Abbott Mourly precedent system. But definitely once you go to this side, we have to open up a file. And that's important. So do you just want to tell everyone, before I go in a little bit further, Tony, on what opening up a file means?
Yeah, just when you get past stages 1 and 2, basically, then what happens is I send out the opening of a file process is basically you provide me with all the data capture sheets, etc., and all the auxiliary documents that go with it. Then I process that through the Legal Leap system, it's called. It's a legal software system that we use, and it actually allocates a file number, all the details of the client, etc., etc. And then what we do is we send out a cost agreement, because we've got to do that legally, directly to the client. So the client absolutely knows, and it's got to be transparent at the end of the day, that what we're going to charge the client. And then we take it from step 3 onwards, and the process just goes on from there basically until completion. So it'll take to and fro, and basically the client may need some amendments, done further amendments. I don't mind doing that. We've got access to the system anyway, so it's easy. So that's just it's a pretty simple process. It's not hard. Right?
Okay, so what I did is I've given this to Travis. You're more than happy to take this. I believe that Ashley has done an HTML for MailChimp on this one. But this is an email that you can send to your client. So again, Travis was, look, if you know me, I like taking shortcuts, not shortcuts legally. There's no way in the world I would ever do that. But shortcuts in making a deliverable a lot quicker, a lot faster, because if I can shave off an hour or 2 and get a deliverable, it's a lot quicker. So what I've got here is, you can see, is an email which you can send it to client. You can put in the subject matter, but the subject matter works really well, which is family must do enduring powers of attorney and wills. So look, I'm really good at writing emails, so as you well know. So don't reinvent the wheel. We've got the wheel for you. Just stick to the wheel. So what we've got there is you've got a heading there. You can see, so this goes to your client. So you might put in there, you know, dear John or dear whatever. The coronavirus is having an impact on society. Many of our clients, Australians for that matter, people across the globe, are concerned for their own safety and that of the family. So they're truisms. We're asking ourselves a whole range of questions, including what happens if I or one of my family get the virus? Will it spiral out of control? What are the elderly members of the family over age 60 who seem to be more susceptible? We don't have the answers to these questions. Remember, this is from you, but what we do know is that it's important, if not vital, to ensure, while fit, competent, and able, that you safeguard your financial affairs by giving a spouse, relative, or close associate your enduring power of attorney. This enables your EPOA to act on your behalf if you become sick, are quarantined for a long time, or become incapable of managing your financial or health affairs. In addition, your EPOA may be given the power to take your position as trustee of a self-managed super fund if your deed allows. Each state has its own EPO legal requirements, which we are on top of. Apart from an EPOA, it's also important to put in place or revisit your will if it's not been looked at in the last 2 years. With COVID, everything should be up for grabs. The coronavirus shows us that change can happen quickly, and we must prepare for change. I mean, we've all been shaken to our core. A great safeguard at this very moment is to put in place an enduring power of attorney and create or update your will and that of your closest loved ones. So many young families have neither document, relying on the courts to solve these issues, but at the moment, courts are basically quarantined or closed. So this is the link in for you. We have teamed up with lawyers and specialist estate planning advisors, Abbott Mourly, to provide an EPOA and wills package in these challenging times. Now, importantly, from this perspective, we are putting a frame up around it. You can't go out and say that you're a lawyer or providing legal advice. So what we're doing is you're there providing, getting a data capture, getting the information, putting it into our system, and that is not legal advice. So we've been suggesting it to our clients when we do reviews, but now see the absolute importance of implementing it for all of our clients and their families. The process is simple and quick if you get your EPOA and executors right. The person who you nominate as your EPOA can also be the executor of your will to ensure safety, certainty, security, and continuity. Again, this is where succession comes in. It may be more than one, known as joint EPOAs and executors. The person or person you choose will look after your financial, health, and super affairs in the event of an illness or anxiety, should you so choose. In addition, they'll be tasked as executor with looking after your estate upon your death, managing any of your specific gifts, such as property going to one or more family members, jewelry to grandchildren, well, anything you desire. They can also limit any disposition to your estate, to your lineage, which is your direct descendants, or to bloodline only, which may include brothers and sisters in the event that a main or specific beneficiaries are alive. So once we're doing this frames it up for the client. Do they want it with bloodline or not? Important, build a line of EPOs and executors. Abbott Mourly lawyers advise that you should provide a successor EPO and executor in case when the time comes, the persons or persons you appointed cannot or might not want to take up the role that you've endowed upon them, because not everyone wants to do that at that time. And it does not hurt to have a successor second EPO and executor. In fact, it's worthwhile having a third and fourth line. Safety, certainty, security are paramount. If something happens, we want to make sure your family are looked after quickly. As your advisor, we strongly recommend that together we undertake a fast and simple 3-step process to implement your EPO will. Complete the data capture attached, send to us as soon as possible so we can work with Abbott Mourly to draft your EPO and will. We'll get together and review the EPOA and will to ensure it's tax efficient, covers all the bases. If need be, depending on your family circumstances, we may need to have a meeting or teleconference with lawyers from Abbott Mourly to check the EPOA. Plus witness the execution of the will. We are very busy at the moment, but our clients' EPOAs and wills are the top of our list of priorities. Along with Abbott Mourly, we can provide the above 3-step EPOA will service for blah. In fact, I leave it there. So you could just say, along with Abbott Mourly, we can provide the above 3 EPOA and will review service. Don't put a costing in there, so don't worry about that. So just go full stop there. If you'd like your children and their spouses covered with EPO and wills, we have a specific family offering. Just call us. At this point, we suggest that you complete the attached data capture, which you can see is obviously attached there. Travis will send this to you if you want. So travis@lightyeardocs.com.au, start flicking it out to your clients. It won't take long. We'll get the process started. This can be emailed to us. So you send them obviously email or fax, use as fax, or simply post it back to us. There is no time to waste, and the relief of getting these documents complete will take a weight off your shoulders. So it's good, strong letter to get things moving. So rather than having meetings all the time, send this out to your client base, send it out to 30 or 40, see what the response is, and then certainly follow up with a call to say, get one of your juniors to follow up. Did you get the email? Did you do this, etc.? So if you'd like a copy of that, and then get straight into it, Travis is there. Go in, test, and get it running. Travis@lightyeardocs.com.au. He'll send that straight to you. You just modify it for your perspective, and then you're off and running. So that to me is a great one. Now here's another one. I'm going to give you the inside scoop because you guys are the first ones on here, and I'm not going to do this for everyone. So we live in COVID. So at the moment, this is perfect because particularly guys in Melbourne, everywhere else, we don't have time to get in and see people. So we want to send this out to as many people as possible, just knowing that there's the process there. If you want, again, and have a chat with Travis, I'm more than happy for our strategists and licensees to put in place a webinar for you. Very opportune many years ago, I used to do, I'd come out to offices, we'd do an event. For that event, obviously what would happen is you'd have people turn up. I'd talk about estate planning. I'd talk about all of these sort of issues that we cover in. You talk about it as well, and it'd be off and running. The only problem about running events, for those people who've done it, it's bloody hard because you've got to get people off their butt, out of their house, into a car, go somewhere. In the regional areas, I love it because they get to chat to their mates they haven't seen for a while and grab a beer as well. So what we can do now is we've got invitations there. If you'd like to put in place a webinar for your clients, which can be obviously in the evening, set up a webinar, maybe 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. And what we can do is we can give you the template, set it all up in a Zoom, send it out to your clients with an email, and then get them back in. So you're going to have a virtual webinar event. The good thing about that is it's going to cost you absolutely nothing. The best thing about it is if you let me do my stuff, let me cover all of this sort of stuff, we give them the data capture afterwards, I can guarantee you're going to get at least 50 or 60% appointments of the people who turn up. All you have to do is make sure people turn up. So get on the phone, make sure they come to the webinar, etc. And if not, at the end of the day, you record it and then you've got it for the clients. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, that's a great, I've done about 3 or 4 of those now, and they work absolutely spectacularly. So have a go at that. Again, it's just for you guys. It's only my time, your time, but it's very easy to organise. So we've got that, that's our base. Now, a client comes in and we've got our data capture. An alternate way of doing it, now that we're in post-COVID, we need to relook at everything we've done. We can send it out to a client with a data capture, but if I go back and have a look at this one, so I've got my 5-step roadmap with Tony, and what I can see there, there we go. What I can see there is we send out the data capture to the client and ask for the client to fill it in. Now, the problem about that is if you're like me, and you probably do that, it takes ages for me. It would take ages for me to fill in the data capture. The data capture, honestly, is bloody easy. It takes, how long did it take you to fill in, Travis?
If it was just straightforward, it would have taken me 5 minutes.
But yours is...
As you'll see in a little bit, it's not straightforward.
Okay, so Travis is in straightforward. And honestly, I haven't had a look at Travis's, so it's going to be interesting. So we can get that in, but it's a matter of following up that data capture for them. Alternatively, what we can do is we can actually do a Zoom meeting with a client. So we've sent out that email, Phil Scandizo, we've set it out, and then what happens, the client comes back and says, look, I'm really interested in this sort of stuff. So you say, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to set up an appointment and we're going to take you through the process. And what I'll do now is I'm going to bounce out of here. And because I know Travis is not a basic will, what he is a one that needs a testamentary trust. And I just found out now, so this is Travis, EPOA and TT. So this is our, this is our back end system. So obviously something just got on a bit wonky there. Let me just refresh it. So this is our back end system that you guys come in at the front end here, and you'll see when I look at it. So this is the front end. You'll see, and you can see this back end here, which is what I'm working in at the moment. To date, in fact, I'll launch it tomorrow. We'll have the, you'll see when we go down to our document categories, we go to estate planning. I've got the 2 combined, the enduring power of attorney and will automation. Now that's just for basic wills, and that include couples as well, if you've been there. So that includes couples as well. So you can do both an EPOA and a will for both mum and dad there. It's very easy to do. But we haven't got, and I didn't realise, we haven't got EPOAs and wills with testamentary trusts. But I have built it, but what I'll do is I'll put that up. So I'm going to take you through what that system looks like, and I'll have a chat. So I'm going to do Travis will with TT and EPOA. Have you got your data capture there in front of you, Trav? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at his data capture. I'm actually going to go freeform. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, because I reckon this is a lot better way of doing it. So I've got my LYD will and testamentary trust with EPOA. So again, I'll put this up on our system. I didn't realise it wasn't up there. I'm going to have a look through all our back end, because sometimes I just do so many documents I forget. So you can see this looks pretty good. So I'm going to put here Travis, will and EPOA. I promise you I won't charge you much for this, Travis. So,
Great.
So I've got that. So what I'd be doing is I would be, for example, with a client, I wouldn't be sharing my screen. What I would be doing is I would just have the client on board the Zoom, husband and wife. let them have a chat. If they've been married before, probably best not to do that. Just do one at a time. Book in some time there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go through this whole process. They're not going to see your screen, but you just preempt it. So look, Travis, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take down some information there. If you've completed your data capture, I'm going to put it into the system. And then when we go out, that enables us, and particularly Abbott Mourly lawyers and our system, to produce it a lot quicker. So just be mindful of the fact that I'll be typing on the way through, and I'll be asking you questions on the way through, if that's okay. So what we want to do is we want to put in place all the parties who are in Travis's field. So just want to give me a bit of a précis on what you would like to happen in the event that you passed away yesterday, Travis. Make sure you always say to a client, it's in the event that you passed away yesterday. So you don't want to preempt things. But if you passed away yesterday, give us a broad structure. You don't have to go down to specific assets at this stage, but a broad thematic on what you would like to happen.
Well, the easiest part and straightforward part is, while my parents are still alive, it goes to both my parents. So that's the easy part of it all.
Now, so
around makes your life easy.
Okay, so Travis, no children, not married at the moment, not in a relationship.
No.
Okay, so that's what I like. Someone's dedicated to the Light Docs business. So he's chained in there. It's like Tony's chained down in Melbourne. So now here's another point that I'd say. So have you ever been in a relationship that's lasted more than 2 years?
I have.
Okay, so as soon as I know that, I know I'm going to do a testamentary trust. Does everyone follow that one? Because notwithstanding that Travis has been in a relationship and it's all been financially settled, it doesn't mean they can't come back and sniff out a second go under the family provisions claim. Because if you live with someone for 2 years, they're a de facto, and you can see there's a whole range of cases around family provision where you can make a claim on that one. So I'm going to move into testamentary trust, which would also mean that that's where we need to get Abbott Mourly. Does that make sense? But if he said, look, no, not at all, there's nothing, then if it's all going to his mum and dad, he's never been in a relationship, that's really easy. I'd just be doing the LYD will with EPOA, no testamentary trust. So let's go down. First off, I'm going to take in to account your name. So Travis, middle name?
James.
James, very Whitmore, isn't it?
It is.
Address?
1/13.
Yep.
Nunda Avenue, Nundah. Miami.
Yep, never knew. Oh, she was funny because Travis and I didn't live that far from each other. Although, of course, I was on the right side of the road. What is it? Is it, what is it? 43. I was going to say 4321. You were the other side. So it's Miami Beach is 4320.
No, 4220.
4220, that's right. I was thinking, because I lived in Broadbeach Waters, which is 4221. Okay, so that's our first one. So we've got Travis, which is fine. And obviously, if you had a spouse, we'd throw in the spouse. So now I need to know, I'm doing another one. Tell me about your dad. Your dad's address? Your dad's name and address?
Ronald.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
James Whitmore.
That's pretty obvious. Good name. Address?
124.
Yep.
Allison Road, Alison.
Yep.
And that's Carrara.
Oh.
CARRARA.
That's it. Yep. What's the postcode?
4211.
4211. We will get down and fix this up because I'm presuming your mum's going to be the same. So just to add another individual, it's going to be your mum, and they do live together, don't they?
They do, yes.
All right. Queensland. What was it? 4211. 4211. Okay. First name?
Sandra.
Sandra D. She's not James as well?
Denise.
Denise Drysdale. love Denise Drysdale. Okay, so let's go down the track, add another. So what we need to do is, if your mum and dad aren't alive, we need to put in other common parties there. So again, this is the succession thing, etc. Have you got, how many other parties you got? 2 or 3?
lot.
Yeah. Okay, so again, I'll probably go a little bit beyond time, guys, but it's worthwhile having a look at. So first name?
Be Brendan.
Don?
Oh, Dan, sorry, B-R-E-N-D-A-N. Woodman.
Is it Woodman middle name or just Woodman?
Last name, I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know there for Woodman. Yep, address?
Good question.
No, don't worry about that. So what we'll do is, the good thing about our system, remember, is we take the data, it goes into the system, and then we can relaunch it anyway later on. So it's not a big issue. So we'll just put Woodman.
It's Mermaid Waters is the suburb, if that helps.
Okay, that's okay. So that means we've got the base there. Do you know what that does? About
4213 maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I'll just put 221. Doesn't matter. You can go back and change that. Okay, next one.
Okay, so just these are people that will be receiving
Benefits.
Yes.
So Brendan's going to be like an executor or EPOA.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Brendan's the man. Let's go in and have a look at other people who are doing benefits. Let's go through.
Down. Okay, then we'd have Benjamin Barlow.
Benjamin, what's his last name?
Barlow, B-A-R-L-O-W.
Yep. Don't know the address, doesn't matter.
Madrabar is the suburb.
Is that right, Madrabar? That's it. No. Yep, no, Queensland.
That's what Google's for.
Yeah, I'll just go 422. So just while I'm here, Brendan is a good mate of yours?
Yes.
Trustworthy? So he's trustworthy, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
The other one is he's smart. So because if he's going to be the executor, we want to make sure that if there's a bit of grief that comes through, this is where the advisors come in, but there's a bit of grief that, he's going to have a bit of a backbone. So the last thing you don't want is a person without a backbone.
No, that's exactly why he's got that position.
Otherwise, they're the ones who fold, won't do anything. The litigation comes up and it's going to cost a fortune. So we've got, you can see on the left, Benjamin Barlow. Next one.
Richard Pine.
P-Y-E-N.
P-Y-N-E.
Yep. So hopefully it's not the same as Christopher Pine in South Australia. No, I don't know the address, so I'll just put Woodman. Do you know the suburb?
Mount Nathan.
Ooh, never heard that one. Where's that?
It's just a fancy name for outback Nerang.
Oh, so I'll just put 422 again.
4211 it is.
Oh, there you go. Okay, another one have we got?
Yeah, so this is where, it goes on for a while.
Yep.
Darren Koff. So the reason for this is no children, so that's what becomes a little bit difficult out this side.
No, that's what I was saying is this is instructive for these guys. So the best thing, and you'll see, make sure 14th of October you get it because you're going to get the whole enchilada. But the good thing about it is if you start hard, then when a client comes in, it's like, oh my God, it's so much easier. Suburb?
Madrabar.
Madrabar. Okay, so it's Queensland. Okay, next.
Gregory Golder.
So all these people, they all your mountain biking mates or
No, just like
older like that.
Just the boys.
The boys, good boys.
Yeah,
So
Royal Pines is his address. I'm not sure if that's actually.
So it's Carrara. It's nice there. And I'll just put that again. Again, it's easy to clean all this sort of stuff anymore.
Yep, there is. Where we get to Trent McVicker.
So, guys, obviously he's given away everything. So it's probably important while you're there to make sure you start contacting Travis and, you know, getting him to do stuff with you, build up a relationship, because good bloody good chance you'll probably be in the will. Trent,
Well,
what's his last name?
McVicar, MacVicar.
McVicar. Oh, I forgot the C, sorry. Yep.
Joel McGuinness.
Do you know his suburb?
Trent is Mermaid Waters.
Ooh. So I had a look at a place, almost bought Mermaid Waters many years ago. It was nice, owned by a Chinese guy, but God, he was the worst negotiator. So, next one.
Joel McGuinness.
Yep.
MCINNES.
MCI. Okay, yep. McInnes. Yep.
He is Labrador.
Okay, lovely Labrador. Some nice parts of Labrador, but then there's some funny parts. Anyone else?
His sister, Stacey McGuinness.
Stacey?
Yep.
Just heard Stacey's mum, huh? Woodman, Labrador, Queensland. Yep. Anyone else?
And then we've got, there's a couple more, two more. Tracy Whitmore.
Oh, who's that?
That is cousin.
With the E or just plain? EY or Y?
TRACEY.
Oh, yep. Yep.
Salisbury.
In Adelaide.
No, in Brisbane.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. I was going to say, for those of you in South Australia, oh, sorry, I'm getting too carried away. For those of you in Adelaide, we know Salisbury is not the nicest part of the world. So I just put full. And yep.
And Jeffrey Francis.
GE or J?
Oh, sorry, JEFFERY.
Yep.
Caboolture.
So, that's 4, 2, 2, 1. That's it.
Sure.
Okay, so generally, look, I've gone through the whole process. If you've got all that data capture anyway from Travis, it'd be great to have all those common parties built in straight off, because then you can go through and just say, Travis, who's executive, blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. So we'll go through. Okay, so let's go and play a game. It's not going to take long from that. This is always going to be the longest one. And look, I've never seen anyone this long. So well done, you're up to 13. So happy days on that one. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. First off, we're going to do an enduring power of attorney in Queensland. So far, so good. Do you want to complete a will with testamentary trust? Yes. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in here, yes. And we'll do the client's data capture. We'll just say it was done yesterday, sent in. The accounting firm, what we'll do there is we'll just put best accountants. So again, that'll come up a little bit later on, so I'll show you. So enduring power of attorney, pretty easy. So all I have to do is just go Travis. Now I've got to fill in a lot of this stuff anyway. So once I fill this in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to Travis in a couple of days. I could give it to him now. Now remember, he doesn't see your screen because you've actually put all the data in. All he sees is you, and just say, look, mate, I'm just putting some stuff in and I'll get it to you in 2 or 3 days. I've got to go through Abbott Mourly and all that sort of stuff. Honestly, you could give it to him straight away, but why would you do that? Okay, let's get down to the attorney. So the first one is we want to put an attorney. You can put in companies, but I'm presuming there we've got obviously Benjamin is going to be is that right? Benjamin, oh no, Brendan, sorry.
Brendan, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got Brendan who's going to be...
It'll be mum and dad first, obviously.
Mum and dad first. Okay, so we've got, I forgot about that. So I've got Ronald, add another. and that's then going to be Sandra. Now, I've done that one. So then what I want to do is, now I've got personal and health. So I'm focusing on personal health at the matter. Is there any terms and conditions that need to be set? So obviously your parents have got a good understanding of what you are. So I'd say no on that one. And then they can act severally on that one. Does that make sense? So if something happens to you, effectively your parents will just be looking after you. You've got that one? I think you're Travis. Oh, you're just frozen there a bit, mate. Oh, there we go. So what I've done there is your mum and dad will look after you from personal health. Replacement attorney. So if they're crook, do you want a replacement? I'd say yes. Is it going to be joint? Just going to give it to Brendan?
Just Brendan.
Okay, so that's easy. So we just pop him in. Good old Brendan. Now, you can put in someone else if you wanted, like if they're all crook. It's not a bad idea sometimes to do that. So let's put in a second replacement attorney. So this is a bit like reserves, mate, on the football field. So you've had a shocker, fourth quarter, they're all on their last legs. So you've got to put in a couple of people. Is there anyone else?
There's a good chance me and Brendan will be stuck in an avalanche somewhere snowboarding. So
perfect, good on him. That's what I like. So who else out of that list of people? And you could probably put. Do you want to put a couple of people in their joints? Or just one person?
Just leave it simple and one. So I'd make it Benjamin as the next one.
Okay, so that's it. So we'll go Benjamin. And I don't think we need the second or the third replacement, so we'll go that. So now, so that's for your health. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing for financial. So this is the long form one for Queensland. I will do a short form up, but just as a bit more, it's a bit more significant. So you haven't got a self-managed super fund, have you?
No, I don't. No.
Okay, so at this stage, we don't put that in. But if you do get a self-managed super fund, then what we're going to do is we're going to wheel back and do a brand new enduring power of attorney for you that will cover your SMSF. So do anything you can lawfully do by attorney. Are you a director of any companies at all?
I am, yes.
Okay, so what we'll do there, how many companies?
Two trusts.
Two trusts. Okay, so we'll go
Two
in.
trusts, one company.
Okay, cool. So state additional powers if you wanted to. Now we're doing this in a draft, so we can always go back and get him to do that. Are there any terms and conditions that need to be set? We'll probably financially, I'd say it's up to you. No, we'll work severally. When's it going to happen? We'll go immediately. So we then go into the next one. So the initial attorney obviously going to be your parents. Again, we're just going to go through the next one. So no succeeding. We already know who that is. As you can see, it's pretty easy to do. Do you want to have a replacement? Yes. Second, no joint. Then it's going to be Benjamin. And then we go no. So that's it. So that's your enduring power of attorney. Now what I have to do is, this is our special, if you've seen this a couple of weeks ago, what's going to happen is thrown up and part of our documentation and our paperwork is going to be a binding resolution for the company that Travis is telling me about. What's the company name?
Oh, gosh. TW Funding.
Ltd. Oh, yeah. I know. I've seen that, actually. So that's PTY Limited. You probably don't know the ACN. I'll just put that in. So that's something that can be done. You're the only director?
I am, yes.
Okay, so Travis James Whitmore. Okay. So what that would mean is, see, and I can add another company, but what you'll see is when we come up, if something happens to Travis, if he gets crook or he dies, his mum and dad will come and run the business or take over that company. You won't see that anywhere else in Australia, so it's pretty good. Okay, so you can see I've just asked Travis all these questions. Is there a life interest for his property? No. Does he want to make another will for the spouse? No. But again, you can if this is husband and wife. So testator, this should be easy, really, because it's going to follow exactly what we've just done in terms of our, remember, best accountants. So we're going to put that in there. So this is just going to follow what we just did. So I would assume there that our executors, and that's going to be your dad. And do you want just your dad and your mum to be executor? Maybe just your dad, because it could be. Or do you just want, what's the name of your mate?
Brendan.
Okay, so it's easy. So there you go. See what happens when you, so best mate. Okay, so that's it. Now, in the event that Brendan's not around, who else will be the executor? So he's under the snowboard avalanche.
We put Ben there.
Ben, okay.
Oh, actually, no, sorry. We'd change that to, I'll have to add, put my advisor in there next.
So your advisor, who's that?
Ainsley Jorgensen.
Okay, so all I'm doing is adding another one. So he's come up with another one. So ANSLEY.
So she'll never be getting any financial.
No. She doesn't get. No, she can get. She doesn't get any financial reward, but she acts as. But she can get paid if you want to. So
She's been getting paid plenty her whole life off me, so that'd be fine.
Oh, all right. So we won't go into that one. That's an under the table payment. Hopefully.
Oh no, just she's been managing my money and being.
Okay, perfect.
Paid for. So it's AYNSLEY. Gerson. JURSON.
JERSON. Yep. I'll just put. It doesn't matter. JUR. Yep. And the good thing about it is once we do this, what we have to do is go back in and changes the whole form anyway. So doing the suburb.
She's in.
It doesn't matter. I'll just put Brisbane, and then we know we can go in and change it at any point in time. So I've put that in, and then I'm going down to here. So I've got Benjamin, second successor. Do we want to add a third one? Yes. And then we've got Ainsley. So bingo. And I don't think we need a third one, so I'm just going to go no. Okay, so the principal beneficiary. So actually,
going back on that, Grant, can you make that a joint?
Absolutely. So let me go back.
Put Ben and Ainsley as a joint, just for that.
Oh, for the second.
Yes. So Ben will know what I want, and Ainsley's the brains that will make it happen.
Okay, cool. Third one after that.
You can go Richard Pine.
Okay, so as you see, guys, this is probably the toughest you're going to do. So we've got that one, so that's fine. And then we've just got a bit of a mix-up here. We should actually go specific gifts first. But let's go principal beneficiary. So obviously the principal beneficiaries are going to be your mum and dad. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll put Ronald, father. He gets 50%. Because you need to actually have, because they can't do it jointly. So just 50%. How does that feel?
That's exactly how it'll be.
My estate. Now, because you've got your mum there, so if he's not alive, we go through and ask all, there's 5 questions. So at anyone, anywhere down the track, it can be paid to their bloodline children. So if he's not alive, his share goes to bloodline children. You say, well, no. Any surviving principal beneficiary. Now, because you've got your mum there, I would go that one. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, does it want to go into testamentary trust? Well, no, not at this stage because it's your mum and dad, so they don't need a testamentary trust. If they had kids, absolutely. So I'm going to add another one there. See how I add another? I'm not on the second beneficiary. I'm going to add another one. So that's when we're going to have a bit of fun. So I'm going to put in your mum. I'll just put mother, and then we're going to go 50% of the estate, any surviving principal beneficiary, and no to testamentary trust. Now, if you don't fill any of these up, it mucks up the code. Now, if they're both...
Sorry, Grant, just to clear up on that. So what we're saying there is that if my father passes away, it all 100% goes to mum. If mum's passed away, 100% goes to dad.
Yep, and then if they're both not around...
Then that's where we go.
Then it goes to the secondary. So this is where we're going. So who gets what? Is this where you're splitting it amongst everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so what I need to do is let's start at the top. We've probably got another 10 minutes to go, guys. So apologies for the time, but this is hardcore advice, because at the end of the day, you're going to end up with a document you can give to the client straight away rather than data capture. So Brendan, is he going to be involved?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got Brendan there. Best mate. How much?
Sorry, I'm just going through 24%.
24%. Now,
so sorry, Grant, I might just jump in on here.
Yep.
That was one thing that wasn't prompted in the data collection as I was going through it. But if people are doing something similar, it probably won't be as in depth as many people as I'm using. But you want to know the percentages, so I'll be able to answer every question you've got here in percentage very quickly.
Yeah, correct.
So something for to advise your clients when they're filling out the data collection of what percentage that this splits will be.
Maybe if you want to take that up, and do you want to, now you've done the process, I'm just giving you a task now, maybe do you want to update the data capture with what you think is appropriate?
Yep.
Because you're a high case scenario. Again, just to show you what's happened there, Travis has said, look, I've looked at the data capture and it's deficient, because data capture, if you've ever done it, I can tell you, I've seen some lawyers. In fact, I remember the first data capture Tony sent to me for doing a will. It was like pages, and you're just not going to get around to doing it. That's why this system is better. Does everyone understand what I've just done? I've put it all in, and I'm asking Travis on the fly. And all I'm asking him is the actual questions that are in front of me. Does everyone follow that one? So it's a lot better. Now, tell me.
Yeah, just for making it more efficient. So when you have the meeting with the client, like we are right now, it's all done. A little bit more data. They don't have to think. You're not wasting your time and money doing the data collection. It's just a lot quicker. They'll have the answer instantly. They've thought about it, talked about it with their partners, and it's got the answers for them straight there. Exactly. So the good thing about the good thing about the data capture, which really at the end of the day is it's not a huge deal, because you're actually going to use this system, because the system is what you want rather than transpose from the data. What you'll do is you'll have a look at the data or get them, and then you can put it in straight into the system, which is a better way of doing it. So, because then you can say, okay, particularly when you're having a look at how many people you've got, 13. So in the event, so this is Ronald and Sandra's gone, Brendan's getting 24%, but if Brendan's not there, you've got these 4 choices. It goes to his bloodline children. Yes. Okay, that's easy. And do we want it into a testamentary trust for Brendan? Now, he's got kids. This is what I would be doing. I would be saying yes. Does everyone understand what I'm doing? Is Brendan's spouse to be included? No. No. Perfect. So does everyone understand? Sorry. What did I do? I did the wrong one. So is the spouse to be included? No. All the secondary beneficiaries of the trust. So now we're building a trust for him off this. So Brendan's still alive, but I'm building a trust. And so you as advisors, best accountants, you're actually going to be doing this for him. So we're going to keep it to the bloodline. Any related entities can be beneficiaries. Yes. Is Brendan going to be is going to be the appointer? Yes. Now, what we can put in there, you wanted to put in some conditions around kids? I'd probably put in a time frame of when the children can have the money. Children where I'd be not to take any capital distribution until what age? That's a good question. 21, 25, somewhere there, do you think? Yeah, 25. It doesn't matter, because what happens, we give this to you in a draft form, and then you obviously go away and think about it as well. So it's not a bad one. Okay, so we've got the first one. Okay, so I'm going to add another. I would have copied that because you're going to use that again. Yeah, don't worry, I've copied it. I'm in front of you, mate. Yeah. All right, beautiful. So Benjamin? Yes. Okay, cool. 24%. Yes, mate. 24%. Okay, of my estate. Bloodline children, go into a testamentary trust. Spouse, yes, no? No. Okay. Secondary, yep. And then... Not that there's anything wrong with their spouses at the moment. Yeah, I know. It's good, to have a bit of leeway. Okay, so we got that.
add another. Okay, next one is Richard.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, again, best mate.
24.
24% of my estate. Same deal.
Same deal.
So that's pretty easy. So you actually can see how great the system is. And a testamentary trust for these guys, absolutely unbelievable. No spouse. Yes, yes, yes.
Just from my point of view, watching you fill this out, Grant, is that for the clients, it's not really about Brendan or my mates getting the money. It's more for their children.
Yep.
Because hopefully I live a long, prosperous life. So the idea is that it does go to them, and that's what it's about. So again, protecting it, being able to just click a button and making it bloodline is amazing. Like, that's a very quick way to do it.
It's amazing. I mean, as I said, you're going to the most complex, but again, look, we can handle it really quickly. So how much goes to Darren?
4% for the rest of them.
Okay, 4%. What I might say, I'll just put to their bloodline children. Because it's 4%, what I'll do is I'll say that it's not worth having a testamentary trust at that stage.
Sorry, I've just got a quick question here from Tim.
Yep.
He's just saying, can you please add examples of wording everywhere? Example, children not receiving any capital distributions until the age of 25.
Okay, I understand. So, Tim, Mr. Munro, you mean actually what I would do there, if I go back to Piney, you would want, for example, put in here some examples there. Did you want to put in some examples there, or would you prefer to have some buttonholes like that where you could actually make a choice? So just come to me back on that. Does that make sense, Tim? So I can either put in some examples there, you can just copy and paste, or alternatively I can do buttonholes. It doesn't make any difference. Okay, so for Darren, okay, so now all I've got to do is just add another. Now it's not worthwhile going for a testamentary trust. Okay, so choices. Okay, got that. Okay, I'll work on that one. And then once I work on that, it then flows to all our testamentary trust stuff. And I'll also do the same for our wills. So thank you for that. Again, we follow the principle of Kaizen, which is ongoing improvements to make things a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is add another. I'm not building a testamentary trust because he's only getting 4% of your estate. So all I do is Darren, Gregory, best mate, and then 4% of my estate. And then what we do is just goes, he's got kids?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, no. Okay, so then I'm going to add another. So I've got Gregory Trent McVicker. Best mate, you got a lot of best mates. 4%. Bloodline, 4%. Estate. No. So everyone's going to know you, mate. So what do we get up to? McVicker, Joel. Mate, 4% of my estate. I might just copy that one. Bloodline children, no. Add another one. I've then got Stacey. Friend.
So no children on this one, but I don't know if that we should just.
Okay, so if there's no children, then what we'll do is we'll just split it back to all the rest of the secondary ones.
Perfect.
Okay, so that'll increase their percentage.
Again, it's that easy.
Yep. Okay, so then add another, and I've got Tracy Whitmore.
Yep.
So that's cousin. 4%. She got kids?
No, she doesn't.
Okay, so I'll split it back to the rest again. No testamentary trust. So the last, if everyone's dead, I mean, the last person standing will be happy.
Awesome.
Jeffrey Francis.
Yep. Cousin.
Cousin. Has he got children?
He does.
So you can see how easy this is. I mean, we're looking at a pretty complex set, and these are all testamentary trusts that are going to pop up, and then Ainsley. Do you want anything for Ainsley? Or?
Oh, no, she's fine now.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what I want to do is I put in an extra one there. So I just need to delete that repetition. See, I'll go up the right-hand side, just delete that repetition, and then she's out of the game. So, so tertiary beneficiary, is there going to be one? You go, no way, because there's so many people there. Specific gifts. Is there anything specifically you want to gift, or are you just going to throw it all into the estate? Like, have you got a car or your footy cards, your mountain bike?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Silly as it sounds, it costs more than my car.
Okay. Well, no, my brother just bought a really flash one, cost 11 grand. So anyway. So, okay, so who's getting what?
So I'm not sure how long we want to go into this, but
Let's just do a couple, just so people can see, and then you can come back. I'll give you this. I'll show you where the document is, and you can fill it out anyway.
Perfect. Richard Pine.
So Piney is your mate. Yep, and the asset.
Yep. Nissan Skyline.
Ooh. Nissan Skyline. Is that a like tricked up one?
It is, and the
License. Another license number?
it's unregistered at the moment.
Oh, that's okay. What year?
95.
Nice. Sweet. Is that it for that one?
That's it for that one.
So again, you can see here, I can put that into a testamentary trust if I want. I'll just go no, and then do another specific gift. Who's the next one?
Benjamin Barlow.
Okay. Hey, yep.
I'll just put all bikes, all push bikes or bicycles.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. All bikes will understand, including and mountain. It's probably worth a bit. Does it go to testamentary trust? No. Okay, we'll leave that alone. So all you have to do is just add all those extra ones.
Yep, sure.
Digital assets, that's a new one. So yes, so who's going to get all your social? Do you want to appoint a separate one? We'll go no. Okay, so you're going to do the main executor. Okay, so what will happen is all your digital, like your LinkedIn, all that stuff, if you've got cryptos, that'll all be distributed by Brendan according to all that stuff anyway, so that's not a bad thing. Details of digital asset. So I'll just leave that blank.
Yeah.
This is mainly for a lot of crypto stuff. So
yeah, not invested in that world.
Yeah, so I might just take digital assets out of there. So you can see how it just pops out. Child guardianship, nope. You got any pets, mate? Got a cockatoo, goldfish?
I do have a dog. But
yep.
Obviously go to mum and dad.
Okay, so that will go to, I'll just send it to your dad. It's a dog?
Dog, yep.
Name of the dog?
Chewy.
Obviously for some reason. Okay. State to provide insurance for 5 years. How's that? Pretty good. Okay, down the last one. What's your funeral? Where do you want to go? So have you thought about your funeral?
No, I hadn't.
Okay.
It set me on fire.
Okay, so that's usually called cremation, mate. Cremation and thrown into Miami Beach. How's that? But you can always change that. Okay, is that cool? Cool. Okay, so that's a pretty comprehensive one that we'll have a look. What I'll do is, if you don't mind, I'll actually send this out to everyone for them to have a look at so that they can see what the complex is. You don't mind that, do you? Or if not, I can send them.
Gets everyone will know who I am.
Yep, cool. So I'll put that in. I'll send it out as a PDF so people can't change, and you'll see how it all fits. Now, obviously, it's taking a while to assemble these documents because there's a lot there, obviously, from Travis. And also my system's a bit slow. But that's how easy it is. And you can see it's taken probably about a good hour or so to do, or 45 minutes to do. But that's how easy it is. And you can see I've shortcutted the data capture. I've shortcut everything. And at the end of the day, he's going to end up with this great suite of documents that we'll be able to do if it bloody finishes. Better finish. Let's hope we go through there. I'll come back anyway. So when we have a look around there, is just to reiterate, look, send out that client engagement email, have a chat with Travis. That's got all the data capture we've got there. So that's a good start, gets their mind thinking. Is it a single or double will? So if it's a double will, remember you can see inside the system, you can pick it up. Enter the data, but again, from that one, book, get the data. You can put in the basic stuff that we've got there. So I think I'm going to have problems with this assembling the document. Oh, here we go. Sweet. I had a worry there. So if we have a look there, I'll just change my lights. The document will come up. I won't go through it. I'll just go through it, rip it through really quick so you guys can see. And then what we'll do is I'll PDF it up and send it out to you today. So that's all being processed. As you can see, this is probably the most extensive you've got. You've done your enduring power of attorney, and we go down there. Important thing I just wanted to show you, really important, the most important part of the whole stuff. Sorry about this, because I've got so many things open. There we go. Come on. Okay, so we've got EPOA. Here you've got a letter that talks about how you have prepared this based on a data capture, etc., so on and so forth. You're expert in tax, asset protection, but again, it's no provision of legal advice. There's also then an execution letter that goes down there from that perspective. And again, because this is a lot of testamentary trust, you probably get Abbott Mourly involved. And then you can see Travis Whitmore, James Whitmore, so on and so forth. So I won't go through the whole lot. But, we've got the enduring powers of attorney. We've got here the executor, Brendan, etc. We've got the testator. We just need Travis. And you can see, let me go up here. Again, I'll have a good look through that. We haven't got the date in. I just need to go back and relaunch it. You can see here we had 2 people, so I didn't choose the binding vote. So obviously I didn't put that in, but that's okay. I just need to go back in. So if you ever see that sort of stuff in there, it means you've left a field. And that's why I said one answered question. So I'll send this through to you, and you can see it's got basically everything in there. You've got secondary beneficiaries, the whole box and dice, and you've got all the various testamentary trusts for each person, for Benjamin, Richard Pine, Brendan Woodman. So we've got all of those sort of ones as well. So that's probably a very complex one. But again, you can see, if I wanted to, I could just have a quick look over this, throw a draft on it, and then I could send it out to the client in a couple of days for their review. And then you come back in, and that's when you can get Tony involved if you want to go through that process. But if it was just going straight to mum and dad, then potentially a sister or brother, you probably don't need to go through that process. Anyway, that sort of gives you a bit of an idea on how to complete that process for that. I mean, how did you find it from your end, being at the back end there, Travis?
For the in-depth of what you've gone through there, I've done a will in the past in the traditional sense with the solicitor direct, and the weeks that go by going backwards and forth, the time sitting in the office going through it, this is just it's just so easy.
Well, effectively, I could, if I wanted to, I could say, look, Abbott and Mourly are going to work on this overnight. If that's okay with you, I'm going to send you a draft tomorrow, and then we can book in a time to catch up with them. So that effectively it's done and dusted, because you're entering it straight into the system. So there's none of that time frame. Again, that's why I think COVID is great for us, because it enables us to get on a Zoom with a client and ask them all of these questions on the fly. And you wait until you start to see when we do it with a moat, it's absolutely even. That's what I'm saying. This is a real change of dynamic for all of us. And that's why we want to go down this, because we can get in this. I mean, if we have a look, we send out all those letters. It's not that hard per month, honestly, to do 2 of these. I mean, how many can you do a month if you've got your book filled up? And this is why you don't need to get a junior involved, because you do it yourself. You're giving advice on the fly, building it on the fly. And that's why there's no other system in the world like this. So it's very exciting. But anyway, I'm sorry to take too much of your time. It will be recorded. It'll be up and running there for you a little bit later on. Thank you, Tony, for your valuable input in the 5-part process. And again, if you want to catch up with Tony, I'll put the details there, book in a Zoom link. And again, Travis, thanks for being so open. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot of people who are going to get in contact with you, because they probably want to get 3% of your estate now. So watch out. So thanks again, Travis.
No problems.
Okay, mate. See ya.